Welcome to Random Conflux, where today I say, YouTube, what do you want to talk about?
Yes, please tell us what you want to talk about. We're running out of ideas for topics. We need you to tell us what to do, because otherwise we're going to start talking about ducks or something completely random like that.
You broke it, dude.
What'd I break?
You just broke it.
But a topic about ducks, think about all the things you could talk about with a duck.
I was going somewhere with that. It was going to be a metaphor for life, man. It's going to be a metaphor for life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was doing a rip-off of WWE and Cody Rhodes with, hey, Los Angeles. Hey, WWE. What do you want to talk about? By the way, if you hear dogs in the background, that is because I'm up at my stepdad's. I no longer have a dog, but there's like dogs right next door. And, yeah, that's happening. Bear with us. Get rid of one dog problem.
That was and that's a long story. It's nothing bad that Zach did, just a long story with the dog.
Anyways, I kind of, the skit's over. There's no point in rehashing an old skit.
No.
But anyways,
today we're talking about mustard and the various types. There's honey mustard. There's regular mustard. There's there's Heinz. There's the generic from the store. There's
yellow, brown, white.
Yeah.
Some made with honey, some made with dill. All of them made with vinegar. And sadly enough, I can't eat any of them.
Yes.
All right.
Now, what we're really talking about once again is
building.
Yes.
Another freaking building episode.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that real life issues are getting in the way of us doing this because we're not really getting paid, not enough people are subscribing. Like, we're getting the viewer content, but we're not getting enough watch hours, we're not getting enough subscribers. Like, we kind of have to deal with some real life issues and then kind of make YouTube a hobby for right now until we can push it more to the front of the seat of this ride we call life.
And we will start doing topics weekly again. It's just we've been helping a couple friends of ours move. We've been helping. We've been renovating Zach's house. We've been doing a lot.
And considering building is our topic today, there'll probably be some building in the B-roll.
Either Fallout, The Sims. Fallout, The Sims.
But
something.
Without further ado, we'll get into the topic tonight and talk about how. Okay, let's just start off with something that bugs the hell out of me when it comes down to building.
Okay, what's that?
People not knowing how to fucking do steps.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, at my house, right, the way that they did the steps was big old wood going up and down the steps on the sides, tiny little rectangular blocks for the beams to sit on.
Yeah, and that is a way to do it, but it doesn't last more than a year or two.
It's the weakest way to do steps. Mm-hmm. And it also shows that you don't know jack squat about craftsmanship or even care that much about your residents to do something half-assed as that. Now, the way to do steps is you lean a 2x4 up where you're wanting to put the steps. Square it off where you can have a flat area. connected to the base of the porch or patio, as well as the landing itself, where the step actually hits the ground, right? And you want to put every one or two hand spaces in between, from top to bottom and out, a 90-degree angle for the cross beam to sit on, and then that's what you nail in. And the way that my steps were done, I gotta tear my steps completely out because it just wasn't done the proper way.
Yeah, if you do it the other way, you really have to reinforce it. You have to make sure it's reinforced.
Yeah. You have to screw that thing in so much, where if it just was a person, it would be so tight that, well, you know.
Yeah.
It's not okay when you're building and renting something out.
Yeah, and when you do steps in general, you want to make sure those steps are reinforced and make sure they're built correctly.
Yeah, because the way it was done, it was so effed up that it had from the top where the porch is to the first step down was a nice 6 inches. Close to a foot of drop. And that's not the way steps are supposed to be made. You need a nice level or equal incline down.
Yeah.
Is what you need. And when it comes down to just building topics in general, I like to put out what really bothers me, and say the right way to do something.
Yeah, like for instance, you do know your stuff when it comes to building. We built the desk up in your office. You did like a hanging desk. You're going to be redoing your counters, making them from scratch with some...
Which I might put the hanging desk on as part of the B-roll too.
Maybe.
Anyway, anything that we talk about, we'll probably put in as B-roll.
If not with this video, then with a video.
Where we talk about it.
Yeah. If not in this video, it will be in a video.
No, it will be starting in this video.
Okay.
And I learned from someone that has a hard time reading and writing, but he can pretty much outwork anybody else that has a high school and college degree when it comes down to building.
Yeah.
He's the person that I learned construction with. He's the person I learned plumbing from. He's the person that taught me how to rewire shit. So, like...
You know your stuff.
I know a good bit. I mean, there are some things that I'm not going to touch with a 90-foot pole, but that's for safety reasons. But everything else, I'm pretty confident with.
Like, for instance, you know how to rewire some stuff, but you're not going to go touch the breaker box. And
yeah, I'm not going to go and be like, hey, breaker box, I want to see if you're going to shock the crap at me.
But, yeah. Another thing you're working on, and like I said, you're going to be redoing your countertops whenever you get those done. We're going to have to do the door again because Zach...
yeah, it's just not working right. My dog...
Your dog ate your door.
My dog ate a metal covered door. Chat, can you please explain to me how a dog can have such strength? Now, this is a beagle. To pull the metal face off of a wood/metal door.
Yeah.
Do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 do.
It's also one of the reasons why you had to give him up. It's just he was destroying your house. We're hoping that, and we found him a good home. But
plus, I'm not home all the time, and
he needs someone that would be there constantly.
Yeah, he needed a place where what he needed was like an elderly family that could be with him 24/7, doesn't really go out and do anything, has a big ass yard, he can run around and have fun.
Yeah.
And have all the love and care in the world.
Yeah.
And like I just didn't have that. But this isn't about the dog.
This is about building.
Grooming himself in the background.
I mean,
I'm not going to even play that gesture of making those noises. I can't, mind you, but
I mean,
we would definitely get this pulled off of YouTube.
What if I started grooming myself in the background?
No.
No? Why
Just
not?
No.
Okay. Now, jokes aside.
I mean, if you want to visualize what it sounds like, why don't you go ahead and type in Degeneration X promo about the Oval Office. Mind you, Shawn Michaels did not, I repeat, did not sleep with that young intern. He was up all night. I'm kidding.
Okay, back to actually our topic on building. Something Matt wanted to talk about because he proper turrets in Fallout. What do you think?
Oh, proper turrets in Fallout. You want one at every corner.
Okay.
You want one at every entrance. And if we're talking about Fallout and not in real life,
the game Fallout, Fallout 4 to be specific.
Yes, any Fallout game that you have the ability to build wherever you want to.
Yeah.
Is Fallout 4, so I'm pretty sure they understand that.
Well, you can build in 76.
And with the new mod coming out, known as Sim Settlements 2 Chapter 3, being released this year, I do want to go more in depth into like a building topic just for Fallout alone. But turrets in general, let's say a real life instance, and this is the way I play Fallout, is I think of how does this work in a real life scenario logically.
Yeah.
And I make sure that there's a chest by every single turret. So it looks like it's being fed through a chest.
For like bullets and...
Yeah. Unless it's a laser turret, then I just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
Any machine gun turret, I make sure that there's a chest beside it. I make sure that there's a turret by every entrance to the settlement, and that the only way in and out of the settlement is through certain gates.
Yeah.
And I make sure that at least if it's a square, I make sure that all 4 squares are covered, all 4 corners are covered. I make sure that the whole settlement has no blind spots when it comes down to turrets. And
speaking of Fallout, I have no idea what I'm going to be building when I do my Fallout build for this video, if I decide to do Fallout. But,
well, if you actually think realistically, the White House actually has turrets on the roof of it.
And honestly, the 4 turret thing actually makes sense. I'm not... Yeah.
Well, it's not really 4 turrets. You have
or a turret on each corner, is what I meant.
You have 2 turrets on each corner, and then 2 turrets at each entrance to cover, like, okay, well, here's a blind spot.
Yeah.
We'll cover this one.
It's actually very simple to make like a turret mount too. If you don't want to surround your settlement with a wall, you can very easy. There's a wooden bridge and like the basic thing. You can put turrets on top of it and raise it up. There's other ways to do it too.
Well, I also think about it realistically. Like if you're just gonna half-ass your build, and go with an unwalled settlement, be prepared to have your settlement raided. Yeah, because that would happen in real life. Yeah, like you're gonna want some walls up. Yeah. It makes sense. It's not good for the budget for the game, but it does make sense in real life that you're going to wall up your city. Yeah. Or your settlement to add that extra protection. Yeah. Because what about the blind spots? Mm-hmm. You have too many openings without a walled-in city. Yeah. You have too many ins and outs, people coming and going without proper background checks and all that stuff. Yeah. And I like to have a little bit of unity when it comes down to how I build. Yeah. That makes sense. So I think realistically how something should look. Yeah. And we probably will end up doing a tour of one of Zach's settlements at some point. Whenever I can get a powerful enough computer to handle the recording and the gameplay. Yeah, because mine's decent enough to do it, but it can lag sometimes. And he doesn't even have as much in his settlements as I do. Yeah, and Zach's computer could probably do it, but it has a very bad heating problem where it gets like super hot. I could probably quickly show the settlement, but it would not be... It wouldn't be good enough. Yeah. It's just, I need a beefier computer. I need a tank for a computer. Yeah. Besides the steps in real life that anger me without a T, with a capital A. Why would anger have a T in it? To a T with a capital A. Okay. It's like, anger doesn't have a T in it? My brain wasn't working for a second there. As I was saying, building a hanging desk was fun. Mm-hmm. And still working on the project. The frame of it is up. Yeah. It's usable. Yeah, you just want to do like a stain on it and like treat it real good. I'm probably just gonna do like a veneer. Oh, for like the vinyl top and and just do it that way. I'm still thinking of how to do the do the tilt function. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that gave me some really good ideas, and I'm trying to think of how to incorporate it. So. Mm-hmm. Yep. I might show a finished project of that in a later video, but I might think about showing the desk as it is right now. Yeah, I think I still have a picture of that on my phone, so I can bring that screenshot. Right now, that's gonna be sort of the art side of the office when it comes down to us actually working there. Mm-hmm. And we record up at Matt's when we're recording with him just for convenience for him. Yeah. Yeah, he was busy today and wasn't able to record. Yeah. But we do things the way that we do them. It's called Random Conflux for a reason. It's not about being in a studio or being held to a certain standard of effects and crap like that. It's just about talking and having fun. Yeah, it's about talking about something that interests us and how we handle certain topics. Yeah. And we don't claim to be experts about everything, but we do look at stuff up if we don't know it. And with today's episode being about building, we're not really going on a script. We're not going by a prompt or a procaster. All we're doing is just speaking from the mind and, speaking from the heart about what we know. And if we don't know something, we're not going to say we do.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to building, I just want to mention that I use a lot of tools. I know how to use tools. I know pretty much. I can go through a list of tools that I have used, and I've done this before on this channel. But I just want to emphasize that, Pittsburgh tools. Hey, hit me up.
Yeah, they're very good tools for the price.
Yes, they're very low budget. And I'm not getting paid to say this. This isn't sponsorship. They don't have to send me a damn thing. All I'm saying is I do like their tools. They're really low cost. And you get more for what you pay for.
Yeah.
Like, you're paying for a cheap, crappy type tool.
But you're getting something good.
At any other hardware store.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, like, Pittsburgh holds up to, like, Craftsman's or Hyper Tough's
or DeWalt or any of those other
or
ones.
DeWalt's
tools.
No.
Quality.
Yes. Yeah. Which shows that there is really good brands out there for tools that you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for.
Yeah, speaking of Hypertough, they're a cheaper brand that's decent too.
Yes. Hypertough is really good for drills. Hypertough makes really good impact drills. I use their drills. I use their impact drills.
Yeah, for about $50, and we're not sponsored. This is just us talking about it. You could literally go to Walmart.
You got the drill and the impact at the same time. It was a 2-for-1 for what, $50?
Something like that. It might have been a little more than that, but it was around that price. And we're not affiliated with them in any way. We're just like saying what we spent money on.
Well, I also got like the multi drivers for the drill bits.
Yeah.
For Pittsburgh, and they held up through thick and thin, through rain, sleet, and snow.
Yeah. I've
used them past their limit. Like,
you're talking those long drivers that you bought, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just I think the only problem with them is we end up losing the bits, but that's not a fault on Pittsburgh.
No, it's a fault on me because I'm not all that organized. Yeah. But I've used them in an impact drill, and I've used other types of cheap driver bits in an impact drill and broke them, or stripped them, or something like that. But like, Pittsburgh tools really hold up in a Hyper Tough.
I think you've only wore out one, and that's just because you used it so much.
Well, that's also because I lost it in the basement and it got corroded. I lost it for about 2 or 3 years. I was looking for it.
Yeah.
And it was down in like a crack in my basement.
Yeah.
Now,
and that's not a fault on them. That's just
there was an expensive, that black and red Craftsman set. No, not Craftsman. It's a knockoff of Craftsman.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it came with a ratchet driver, a regular screwdriver that has, like, a ratchet mechanism in it. And I used a Pittsburgh bit in it, and the magnet that was in that screwdriver is wearing out. But I've had that set for Well, our mom bought me that set when I turned 15 or 16.
Yeah. And you still
when I really wanted to start doing like stuff with wood and start like working with my hands.
Yeah, and you have a Pittsburgh ratchet and breaker bar as well.
Yeah, and I've used the breaker bar to defend my house.
Yeah, it's
I don't condone this for anybody, but a breaker bar, literally,
it saved your life. Yeah.
I owe my breaker bar everything because one day my mom was in the hospital, obviously on one in my home, and someone came into my house. I didn't know who it was. The closest thing to me was a Pittsburgh brand breaker bar, and I creeped down to the first floor of my house because my bedroom's on the second floor, and I tried to go very quietly, caught a glimpse of silver in someone's hand, and before the person could react, I smacked him a few times with a breaker bar.
Found out later that the silver was a shooty object.
Yes, I'm not going to repeat what it is on here.
Yeah.
And doggy's barking in the background. Hey, I'm recording over here.
But yeah, the breaker bar saved your life, and you don't promote using it for that reason.
Like that's not what a breaker bar is meant to do because it puts the name right in there for you. No. It breaks shit.
No, it's meant for getting bolts out.
It's meant for breaking off or breaking loose stripped bolts.
Yeah.
And
it works for that very well. It works for that very well.
I remember. Let's go back and rewind and talk about the van for a moment.
Yeah.
When I borrowed your stepdad's breaker bar.
I think didn't we bend it?
I don't think it was Pittsburgh. I think it was Craftsman or Hypertough.
It was a good breaker bar, but we ended up bending it.
It was a really good breaker bar, but it was like the lug nuts on my. I don't even think it was the lug nuts. I think it was the bolts holding the
transmission on. I think.
Yeah, it was the bolts holding the transmission to the frame. Were so freaking rusted that I had to jump up and down on the handle of the breaker bar, and that wasn't doing it. Like the breaker bar was supporting my weight, and I'm about 155.
And again, don't do any of the stuff he's talking about because it is not recommended.
Then,
you don't jump on top of these.
I was able to turn it a little bit, and then it locked up again, and then I had to pick up on it, and I don't know how I found the strength enough to do it, but when I wanted to like put all my force into picking or like moving the breaker bar, so as I was pulling up, it was pulling up the fan a little bit, and that's what started bending the breaker bar.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Like, it took a lot of force to bend that damn breaker bar. And I've used my breaker bar on so many things, it's pitiful. I've even used my breaker bar as a hammer a few times. Not counting the time that I've mentioned.
Yeah.
But I have used it to break a board. I've used it to bend metal. Like, I've used it as a hammer for many different things, depending on what I needed to bend and how I needed to bend.
And once again, he's not recommending you do this. It's not the meant thing for it, but he's made do with stuff.
I mean, it works. Like, my breaker bar's okay.
You bent it pretty good, I remember that.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is if you're wanting to go out and especially on a budget,
there's good tools on a budget.
If you're wanting to go out on a budget and get into learning craftsmanship with wood or whatever, like, don't feel discouraged, because there are cheap tools out there that are better than their competitors. And as of right now, the tools that I stand by the most would be Pittsburgh, Craftsman, Hyper Tough, DeWalt. Mm-hmm. But I can also say that there could be some crappy versions of those. Yeah. Not saying that every version is good or bad, but there could be like knockoff versions of those, and I have seen them. There's a version of DeWalt with a backwards D. Mm-hmm. They're not DeWalt at all. They're like a knockoff brand. Yeah. And I mistakenly bought one of those, and it was like for $30. And I went to another store, actually seeing a thing of DeWalt for the same price. I'm like, wait, that's not DeWalt. You're like, yes, it is. And it was that black ratchet set.
Yeah, that black ratchet set's nice.
But like, there's
a lot of good tools for cheap.
Yeah, but don't mistake a fake product for the real one. If you can, use name brands, but go with local rather than like out of country brands, because like the quality's not that best.
Not to say that all out of country brands are bad. It's just there's some that are knockoff and there's some that are yeah.
But if everybody's going out of country for their tools, then like the good tools are just going to go up.
Yeah, so do your research with the tools you want to get and look at reviews, see what you're getting, that sort of thing.
But another thing is they have like strong points and weak points.
Oh, everything is.
About like where their strengths and weaknesses are when it comes down to what types of tools to get from where. Yeah. Like DeWalt, they're really good with their sockets. But like some of their other stuff don't really hold a candle to maybe a Hyper Tough.
And that's not to say their drills and stuff are bad.
Yeah, it's just that certain things work better than others.
Yeah.
And just, find out what works for you and go with that. Like, see what your budget is, see what all you would need for the type of work you're looking towards, and just, work your way up from small to big. Don't go all out real quick, because you're just gonna go with the crappiest stuff. Another thing that I've had to do recently is let's see. I've had to replace many of plugs and outlets and switches in my house from the moment I got it to now. Have to fix the door, have to fix the steps, have to do a new counter.
Yeah.
That's a given. Have to do and I'm not going to go out and waste like thousands of dollars on a freaking counter when I can build one for half that.
Yeah, because you build one for a couple $100.
Yeah. Because you can get the wood and crap for cheaper than you can buying it straight out. I mean, you just need to know a little bit of know-how, and the way I want to make it is where its center function is the not the sink itself, but the dishwasher. Mm-hmm. I want that to be like the center motif of it, and the dishwasher's going to take place where the sink was. When I go redo that floor. And then on the top, I'm thinking of doing my own sort of countertop to it. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping it looks good after it's done. Mm-hmm. Plumbing, that's fun.
Yeah, I think we already talked about you fixing your toilet in a previous video.
Yeah. The thing with PCP pipe is that unless you have it insulated, it breaks very easy. Very easy.
Yeah, you gotta make sure it's insulated, you gotta make sure it's...
But it's easier to work with than metal copper pipe.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about so much rust getting into your drinking water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But thinking of other projects.
I don't think there's really much else we can talk about. We've talked about a lot.
Well, let's talk about something you've built.
Okay. Aside from helping you, I haven't done a whole lot. In high school, I worked in shop class. That was about it.
Okay.
I built like a wood thing. I built a shelf one time.
Is there anything that we've done together that maybe I taught you something that you didn't know, or maybe I showed you something that could have been done a certain way that was either better or worse than the way you learned? Because I know in shop class they kind of teach you the basics.
I know the plumbing stuff and like the wiring stuff. You actually showed me a lot about that.
What about like woodworking?
I knew a decent bit, but you've definitely showed me like more on that and like built up my confidence as far as working on stuff like that.
Well, that was something that was with me when I was learning too.
Yeah.
Was when my stepdad was working on something, and I asked to help. He actually let me get involved and let me help. Mind you, with safety and with proper supervision.
Yeah.
But it was that hands-on approach.
You learn by doing. Yeah. That
really gave me the confidence to be able to do it now. And if there's something that I don't know how to do, and I'm not going to say I'm perfect at everything because I sure as hell ain't. And this is the way my stepdad is. But my stepdad has enough confidence in me, even though I don't have enough confidence in myself. When I first approach a situation that I don't think I know how to handle, and the way he puts it is, as long as you know the basics, you can get the hang of doing pretty much anything. You just have to have the confidence in yourself to be able to allow yourself to try. Yeah. And with him, it was never, oh, you better do it this way or you do it that way. No, it was like, okay, you made a slight mistake. Here, I'm going to tell you what you did wrong, but I'm going to have you fix it. Mm-hmm. Don't get upset. Don't get discouraged all because you made a mistake. Just try again. Mm-hmm. And
that's a good way to teach.
With him, like, that built up my confidence to like doing stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I learned a lot from my stepdad. Mm-hmm. But I also was very active in wanting to learn.
Yeah.
I don't know about you because we didn't grow up together.
Depends on what I'm trying to learn, but yeah. What was your favorite thing to build that you've built? We'll talk in real life and then in a video game. Like the funnest thing you've ever built in a video game too. So real life first.
Real life funnest thing that I've ever built. I would have to say that I've built a lot of things. And the best thing I've ever built, hands down, was an Eagle clock for my mom.
Yeah, I think I've seen that clock before, yeah.
Well, for our mom.
Yeah.
And it was because I know she loves the Eagles. And I had a friend that was in shop class. They worked with metal. When I was in high school, I was taking craftsmanship, and he was taking auto shop.
Yeah.
And I was working on a clock, and I asked the teacher if I could collaborate with another student in another class to help perform both of our projects. And he gave me the permission, as long as the teacher gave me permission. Well, the other kid's teacher gave me permission. And I ended up building the base for it, marking where the numbers go, building the hole for the clock innards to go into, and
he did the inside, right? Like he did the innards and he did the metal stuff.
No, I did the innards because it was already like one major piece, but I had to like divot out where the box goes into.
Yeah.
What he did was that, that metal plaque on the clock, and whenever I find it, I'll take a picture of it and put it up on the community page. But that metal part on the clock where that eagle is, he did that.
That's cool.
It's beautiful. And just having the knowledge that we worked on that together, like, it beats the clock that I did on my own, which was inspired by Degeneration X, which was the face of the clock was a D. There's an X in the middle of it, and the clock face goes around the X. It's really cool, and like my mom's clock outbeats the one that I made for myself.
That's cool.
And like, to me, that was probably the best thing I've ever done.
That's cool.
In my opinion.
The coolest thing you've built in a video game? Doesn't matter the game, even though it's probably Fallout. You played a lot of Fallouts.
Conan Exiles, the castle.
Oh, the castle you built?
Yeah, I want to upscale it even more and build more to it, but yeah, I made like a legitimate castle with a courtyard.
I remember that,
in the middle of it. But yeah, I might find a way to put that as B-roll too. So that's probably the best thing I've built in game-wise.
Yeah. And I've seen some of your Fallout builds. The stuff you build in that's really good too. I've seen Fallout, I've seen you build in Conan, I've seen you build in multiple games. I don't think I've seen you build in The Sims.
No, you
sure
have.
You, huh?
You see me build a house in Sims 3.
Okay, that's right on the PS3, I think, what was.
You asked me if that was a regular house that was in the base game, and I said it was, until I started updating it.
Yeah.
I started, like, making add-ons, tearing certain parts out, redoing certain parts.
Yeah, and building in The Sims is fun. I built in Sims 3. I built in I think all the games, and they're fun. They each have their pros and cons. Sims, for instance, Sims 4. There's a lot of people that dog on it, but it actually is really good for building. But you lack some of the customization options that Sims 3 had. Whereas Sims 3, you can make anything, any color or texture you want.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Since you asked me what my favorite thing I've ever built was in real life and in a video game, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Okay. In real life, honestly, I think the desk we worked on. I did build a shelf. I built shelves and stuff as well, but I think that desk was probably the coolest thing that we did. In a video game, not really like the coolest thing I built, but one that comes to mind. You remember the summer camp I built? And yeah, the Murkwater construction sites. I made it a summer camp, and I named it Camp Meyerlurk.
Yeah.
It was fun. I don't have that save anymore, but that was a fun one.
You need to rebuild that. That way we can throw it into one, like a future
video, yeah.
Build video.
Yeah, Camp Meyerlurk. That's. Yeah. Right now, speaking of Fallout, right now I'm not going to show like the full gameplay of it, but Zach's talked me into doing a run where I'm not allowed to use armor of any kind. It's actually really challenging.
I might say let's do a PG version of it.
Yeah.
But no real clothes.
Yeah. No,
but there is a mod that takes the armor rating off clothes.
Oh, gotcha.
But if you're using a file that doesn't have CBBE,
mm-hmm.
or if you're just using first person mode the whole way through,
yeah,
I think it'll work.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is to be able to do it without any of like the luck or agility or
like any of the bonuses.
Any bonus that armor or clothing would give you.
Yeah.
So that way, like the sunglasses, clothes, armor, like a full naked playthrough.
Yeah.
Like a base character playthrough.
It is harder than it looks. Like, I let my character wear glasses, and that's borderline cheating with this playthrough, but I still get my butt whipped. It's like, one shot, you're basically dead. It's like, the glasses don't help.
But, yeah, I'm kind of an a-hole for suggesting that. But it's a tough strategy.
Yeah.
And with me, I like to play realistically.
Yeah.
And I don't like tanky people. I understand if you're wearing armor, you can probably take 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah. And you have no problem with playing that way, but you prefer to play like more realistic to where like one shot, one...
If the person has no armor, I want them to realize, oh crap, this person's out of my league.
Yeah.
Or I want them to go down without wasting like 5 mags on their asses.
Yeah.
So I play with one-shot kills. And it's a cheat from cheat menu that allows for you to kill an enemy in one shot. But it does the same for you. Like, it means that your armor has nothing. Like, the higher the enemies, the more your armor means jack squat.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not completely one-shot kills because it only goes to a certain point, and then it has, like, a hard cutoff. Where you do kind of have to still fire a couple times. If you hit the limb and the character's at a high enough level, they will survive. But that limb will just be crippled.
Yeah.
But if they're unarmored and you hit like the chest or the head,
it defeats them.
It kills them in one hit. And I prefer to play that way because it's realistic.
It adds immersion to your game, which is understandable.
Yeah. Because who wants to buy ammo just to waste it all on a fucking raider?
Yeah.
Excuse my language. But it's nonsense when a raider's wearing rags
and their tanks
and no armor and they're just freaking tanks. Like, that is not realistic at all. I can kind of see a little bit of it being like them hopped up on drugs, but even then it's not realistic.
Yeah.
If you get shot in the brain, you're dead.
Yeah.
Headshots should be one-hit kills.
In video games, yeah.
In video, any type of game.
Yeah.
Unless you're wearing armor, then it should be knocking off the headpiece to allow for that one-shot kill.
And a lot of first-person shooters and stuff do play like that. Just Fallout has health everywhere.
It's ridiculous. So I do play with one-shot kills. But I also want to see someone build a mod that sort of like one-shot kills that adds a new sort of balance to the game, where the only thing that adds any merit to how strong an enemy is their armor set.
Gotcha.
Not their clothes set. I want to see them just separate the armor from their clothes. So if they're not wearing any armor and they're like a normal raider or gunner or human, I want to be able to take them out, maybe a couple shots to the torso, a shot to cripple a limb, or if it's a headshot with a powerful enough gun, I want to be able to not waste a mag on their butts.
But
and
you want realism in the game, basically.
Yeah, and when you come through with a sneaking character, you want to be able to turn around a corner, see your target, shoot them straight in the head, move on. And like, it seems like every RPG out there, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. Like, Metal Gear works that way. Why can't Fallout?
I see your logic. I mean, I don't mind, so I like the challenge of trying to defeat him, but I see your like logic with the realism. You know what I mean? Like you like the realism of it.
The head should be the main point of focus to kill an enemy faster. And they shouldn't be able to take a bullet to the brain. So when I do use one-shot kills, I use it to a point where and it's kind of weird, I nerf my own guns.
Yeah.
So using one-shot kills and then going into the console and nerfing my guns. So
like, you can't get past armor and stuff.
The armor goes past that limit, but the clothes or base does not. So it's the armor rating that protects them.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But headshots are automatic kills. But I can only do that through the console on PC.
Yeah.
You can't really do that through cheat menu on
Xbox or
PS3, PS4, PS5, Xbox One X, S,
Panda.
Well,
speaking of pandas, and I don't know why this reminded me of this, it just made me think of it. Why isn't Fallout on Switch? Because Fallout 4 could run on Switch. 3 for sure, but 4 probably could.
I don't
Skyrim's on
know.
I would love portable Fallout.
But you speaking about Panda, this being a build video, why don't pandas build with bamboo?
Why?
Like, that's a legitimate question, because pandas come from Asia.
They eat
bamboo is a product that they do eat.
Yeah.
but yet they also use regular trees for supports or hide in caves. I mean, they have the... For those that don't know, pandas are really smart. Awesome creatures. Do your research on them. Mm-hmm. But they're sophisticated enough to be able to grab leaves and make a bed. Mm-hmm. In caves. They're understandable enough where they understand how bamboo catches water.
Gotcha.
So they'll like
simple things.
They'll bite a hole in a bamboo tree, mm-hmm. just to let it catch water for it to drink.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, they're smart enough to do that, but they're not smart enough to like break a piece of bamboo and like make like a hut of sorts, like a nest that they can put their babies in. And that would be more protective than like an open faced cave. And that's something that pandas have over regular bears. Yeah. It's just that sort of, okay, well, we have these bendy, flexible type of wood that's yummy to eat, but it's also strong enough that we can use it as a structure.
And they use it for like drinking, but they don't know, and they're not smart enough to like build a hut out of it.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
And one thing that I find is cool that grizzly bears do is they'll actually try to bend small trees and curve them to the point where they got like a little lean to them. Mm-hmm. And they'll try to use it for a shelter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really cool if you think about it, but bamboo can also do the same thing. And it's a lot stronger. Mm-hmm. They use bamboo for building supports in Asian culture. Mm-hmm. I think the Chinese still use it. Mm-hmm. It's either Chinese or Korea that still uses it. Mm-hmm. Because it's one of the strongest materials in the world when it comes down to natural strength and flexibility. Matter of fact, the line where Jackie Chan says, Chinese bamboo, very strong.
And I think it does break in a movie, but it's Chinese bamboo is very strong. It does, or no, they lose their grip.
The bamboo being itself doesn't break, it's the twine around the bamboo that breaks.
Gotcha.
So, but it's a controlled break. If you look off camera, there's a guy trying to cut it with a knife. Yeah. But he cuts each section slowly so it falls a certain way. Yeah. And it's a controlled descent. But really cool. I'm starting to lose topic. But anything that you learned about construction or building or whatever that you didn't know before we started working on projects together?
Just in general, like I learned a lot about plumbing. I learned a lot about I learned more about like level stuff with building and things like that. I think we're talking in circles at this point, but yeah.
Well, no. Yeah. We did talk about it in a sense that, like, what did I teach you that you didn't already know? Yeah. But what was... This question is more geared towards, what do you think is better now that you do know a little bit more about that process?
I mean, I'm glad I know more about plumbing and some of the electric work as well, because I've helped you with multiple things with that.
But you also have friends that you can go to and be like, hey, if this ever craps out on you, hey, I'm available. I know some of this stuff, and if there's something that I don't know about, I can always have someone else help.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's always good.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to have like an open mind to learning more things than what you learn in school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more kids and adults in general should have that mindset.
And at least the basic knowledge of stuff in case you need to fix something.
Because what's stopping the world from being a better place is just people wanting to shut out what doesn't make sense to them. Like, they figure if it's not taught in school, it's wrong. If you didn't learn it in college, you're wrong. You don't learn it from this or that, or it doesn't follow your scripture, or it doesn't follow your religion, it's wrong.
There's more than one way to do something.
Wake up, people.
And
that's not how the fucking world works.
And when it comes to building, there's more than one way to build something. There's more than one way to, like, you need to approach things from different angles and see how it works for you.
And building is that same way. Mm-hmm. Not everything you do is gonna work right.
Yeah.
Not everything you do is gonna be perfect the first time you do it. It takes practice. It takes time and effort. It takes experience to get better over time.
That's not even building. That's with anything you do. Like learning how to do something.
And, like, for me, I'm not patient with a lot of stuff, but I found out I'm a little bit more patient when I'm working with something with my hands. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get mad at myself because, yes, my arm will twitch and it causes me to get hurt, but I still like what I do.
But yeah, not just in building, but in anything in life. You don't give up just because you failed the first time.
Yeah.
You work, you try again, you get better at building.
Because there's times where I'm doing something, I don't really go in it with a full-fledged game plan. Mm-hmm. I have a sort of idea, like, in my head how I want something to look, and
exactly.
Just kind of figure, well, one way or another, it's going to work. And sometimes it doesn't always come out the way you expect it. Mm-hmm. But you keep going at it at a different angle and keep telling yourself, you know, I can do this. And
and that's not just with building. If any of you are younger and watching this video, same thing with schoolwork or anything, or your job or whatever it is.
You just have to put yourself into it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's school, work, home, hobby. Mm-hmm. If you have a passion for something, don't stop all because you're not good at it right away. Mm-hmm. If there's anything you take from this topic, just realize that nothing is going to come naturally to you. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to work to get good at what you do.
I mean, even if something does come somewhat naturally, you still can improve and learn more.
Yeah. Don't just say, oh, well, I already know how to do this, so I don't really have to take this inspiration.
Yeah, you can always learn more.
There's always room for improvement, and I keep telling myself that every day. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the reasons why I love to learn new things all the time. And it's the real purpose behind Random Conflux. I don't have it as an educational channel. I have it as an entertainment channel. But I even learn new stuff doing these topics all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can learn new stuff, anybody can learn new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you choose not to learn, it's when you finally give up. So
I think with that,
learn to hit that like button.
Yeah, because I know it's hard, but you can learn to hit the button.
Just hammer that subscribe button like it's a thumbnail.
Yes. And if you don't like this video, feel free to
comment. You guys suck in the comments below. I mean, it doesn't give us ass hurt.
Yeah, hit dislike. Tell us what we can do to improve.
Yeah, if you really like our videos, but yet you think that there's room for improvement, yeah, work for criticism.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. Just say, hey, I like your videos, but, you can do things this way or that way. Like, that's cool with us.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, say there's something about our videos you don't like, then, say so. Comment.
Exactly.
Get interactive. That's what this channel is for people to get interactive. And I know it's kind of hard because you don't really see who we are. But we try to stay as true to who we are as possible. Talking with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because me, JJ, Matt, me and JJ are biological brothers. And we're close. And we're more friends than in a relationship than like a brother relationship.
Yeah. And Matt's a very close friend as well.
And Matt's a really close friend with both of us.
As well as anybody else that comes on our channel.
Yeah. Like, we want to bring in some more people that are more qualified in certain topics. But we don't have the money for that right now. But we just want to be open as much as possible. Not really stylize crap and make things too over the top, subtle in how we do things. We don't want to be transparent.
Transparent's a good thing. It means that you're
opaque.
Yeah,
we don't want to be opaque. We don't want to be clouded. We don't want to pretend to be people we're not.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be honest and upfront and be us. Talk amongst ourselves, but we also want to have a broader range of conversation. We want to have other like-minded individuals that are interested in a topic that we're interested in and want to see their take on what they think about those topics.
Yeah.
Or like a building topic, like, hey, if you guys ever build a desk from scratch, like, go ahead, show us a video in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure that you guys can set up a link to that.
Mm-hmm.
Or go to the channel page. There should be a link to my email, the channel's email, where you can send videos on, like, build topics or game topics or whatever. If you want to push the envelope further in communicating, like, that's what this channel is.
Yep.
That's why I do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but that's why I do it.
Mm.
What about you?
I mean, that's part of it. And anytime I like you said, this isn't a teaching channel, but anytime I like try to like teach something, I'm all about making somebody think. Like even back when I taught I still teach Sunday school. I like to make people think about like what they can do to improve themselves.
Yeah, either improve in themselves or improving something that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
And everybody has a gift.
Yeah.
Everybody has something that they're good at and something that they're not good at. Mm-hmm. And I think that more people should focus on the things that they're not good at.
Try to improve themselves.
And try to improve a little bit. Learn about that thing. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be like a woke, quotation mark, type person. Yeah. Or you don't have to be a know-it-all type of person. You don't have to be like a college professor that only knows one subject and lacks experience in other subjects. Or you don't have to be a one-size-fits-all type of candle. You don't have to be a jack of all trades.
You don't have to know everything, but just learn what you want to learn.
Yeah, you can learn a little bit here and there and put that with other things. And, you know, you'll get better. Even at things that you're bad at, you'll learn that you're going to get better over time.
Yeah.
And even if you are good at something, there's still room for improvement because no one's perfect.
Exactly. I think that's actually the perfect send-off right there.
Yeah.
No one's perfect. There's always room for improvement.
And just like this channel, how can they improve this channel?
By actually commenting?
Well, there's that. Right now, we're at 17 subscribers.
Yeah.
If more people that were viewing this video right now would subscribe, we would start being able to monetize this month.
And that would actually help us get more stuff for the channel.
We can start getting people on board. We can start getting other things going on this channel.
Better equipment.
That will help us make things better for the viewers or the listeners. And just kind of... And I'm not going to dog around the bush here. Or beat around the bush.
We can always improve on stuff.
We, as a channel, as creators, we can improve. Mm-hmm. So, help us improve.
Yep.
And by helping us improve, you know, subscribe, comment, like, dislike. Let us know where we may be lacking. And it's cool. Just be yourself. If you really don't want to help the channel grow, that's fine. That's okay. I understand. There's a lot of people out there that don't really have the time to just press the subscribe button to get us in their subscriptions list, or to hit that bell notification button so they know every time we drop a video, especially when they can personalize or set it for all. You know, it's really hard. They really have to go into too many situations. They gotta, you know, look for a bell on the screen that's usually at the bottom of the video. It's not like we have our channel logo with a subscribe button hidden under it during our videos. I don't know if they can do it.
I don't know either.
Can they do it?
I think if they try really, really hard, they can hit the button.
I just don't know. And, you know, as of always, this isn't just our conversation. This video does not just stop because this video is done.
We'll probably do more building topics.
This topic does not stop all because this part of the video is over. This topic can stay open or generate new topics down the road.
Yep.
And that's what we want every time we start one of these videos.
Yep. And we do listen to your guys' comments. You guys keep saying more Dragon Ball. We put out more Dragon Ball when we have time to play.
You guys like Sims? We put out more Sims. You like our topic videos?
Yeah.
We put out more topic videos.
Speaking of videos you guys like, Zelda will return. Right now, my Switch is being borrowed by a 6-year-old that currently doesn't have internet and wants to play on something, so that will return once I get my Switch back.
And that's going to be fun.
Yep. And with that, like you said, like, subscribe, comment.
It really helps out.
Yes.
And I was being sarcastic before with you guys not knowing how to do so. But, prove me wrong. Show me that you know how to subscribe. Show me that you know how to help a channel grow.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't get the subscribers, then that just proves to me that people don't know how to press the subscribe button.
Exactly. And with that, I think that's a good send-off.
Yeah.
You're
Jay.
I'm John, and you're Zach.
I'm Zach.
Yes, you're Zach.
We're missing Matt though.
Well, he'll be in one of the other videos. He will return. He was just busy today, and we couldn't record with him, obviously. But
well, anyways, say goodbye, Vegeta.
I'm so alone in this vast universe. I'm so very alone.